behind every tech billionaire, whether it's the founders of Google, the brains behind Microsoft, the architects of Amazon or Facebook, there stands one man whose name most people don't even know. Yet without him, none of their empires could exist. He didn't seek profit, glory, or power. Instead, he gave the modern world its most transformative invention, free of charge. This is the story of Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the quiet genius who created the World Wide Web and laid the foundation for the digital age. Tim Berners-Lee was born on June 8, 1955, in London, England. His parents, Conway Berners-Lee and Mary Lee Woods, were mathematicians who had worked on the Ferranti Mark I, the world's first commercial electronic computer. In their home, learning was hands-on. Instead of watching TV, Tim explored the family's scrap mat drawer, a treasure trove of wires, circuits, bottle caps, and resistors. He built gadgets, wired model trains with switches, and eventually created his own television-computer hybrid. The seeds of invention were planted early, and they grew strong. At a manual school in London, Tim's curiosity deepened. He was fascinated by electronics and how systems connected. Later, at the University of Oxford, he studied physics, but stayed immersed in computers. Using a soldering iron and an old TV set, he built his own computer from scratch. This wasn't just technical tinkering. It revealed his belief that information systems, like wires, should connect freely and logically. In 1980, Tim joined CERN, a leading particle physics lab in Geneva. It was buzzing with breakthroughs, but plagued by communication chaos. Different teams used different systems, databases, and formats, making collaboration difficult. While experiments there explored the structure of matter, Tim focused on the structure of information. To solve the chaos, he built Inquire, a hypertext system that allowed users to link information non-linearly. It connected people to ideas and systems to each other. By the late 1980s, CERN's internet infrastructure was growing but lacked a universal system to access and share information. Tim imagined a solution. What if information could be interconnected and accessible from any computer, anywhere? In March 1989, he proposed a radical system based on hypertext to organize and link digital documents. It was the start of the World Wide Web. Over the next year, Tim developed its core components: HTTP, HTML, and URLs, along with the first web browser, server, and website. By December 1990, the web was live, though only inside CERN. Then came the moment that changed everything. On August 6, 1991, Tim shared the web with the world via a simple Usenet post. No patents, no fees, no PR campaign, just an open invitation. That act of generosity, giving the web away, unlocked one of the greatest technological revolutions in history. By 1993, CERN made the web's source code public. With the tools now open to everyone, developers and entrepreneurs across the globe began building the digital world we live in today. Without that single moment, there would be no Amazon, Google, Wikipedia, YouTube, or social media. The web's future. But Tim didn't stop there. In 1994, he founded the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, at MIT. Its mission was to maintain open standards, like HTML and CSS, and to ensure that no single company could dominate or control the web's evolution. Through collaboration with engineers, governments, and tech firms, W3C worked to keep the web universal, accessible, and interoperable. Tim didn't try to control the web, he tried to protect it. But as the web exploded in size and influence, it began to change in ways he hadn't anticipated. What began as a platform for sharing ideas had become a battleground for control. The rise of centralized platforms brought problems: misinformation, surveillance, privacy abuse, and corporate manipulation. One moment especially disturbed Tim: the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Millions of people's private data were harvested and used for political influence without their consent. It was a turning point. The invention that was meant to empower had become a tool of exploitation. "I was devastated," he later admitted. "It was like watching a mushroom cloud unfold before my eyes." So Tim decided to act again. In 2016, he launched a new project called Solid, a decentralized platform that gives users full control over their data. With Solid, your personal data isn't owned by... In 2019, Tim introduced the Contract for the Web, an agreement endorsed by governments, tech companies, and civil society to create a safer, more equitable web. It set out core principles like net neutrality, universal access, and the right to privacy. And in 2021, he auctioned the original web source code as a digital NFT. It sold for $5.4 million. But Tim didn't keep the money. It went toward advancing his work on Solid and promoting a better, freer web. Life beyond billions. Unlike many who became rich from the web, Tim took a different path. He holds no patents on the core web technologies. His estimated net worth, between $10 and $60 million, comes from speaking engagements, book sales, and his work at Inrupt. He lives simply, drives a modest VW EOS, and enjoys walking in the woods, playing piano and guitar. He never wanted to be a tech celebrity. Instead, he focused on his principles: openness, collaboration, and humanity. Tim also attends a Unitarian Universalist church, a spiritual home that values diversity, ethics, and social justice. He often speaks of striving toward a divine asymptote, his metaphor for endlessly reaching toward what is good, even if perfection is never possible. Family, faith, and philosophy. Tim was first married to Nancy Carlson, with whom he had 2 children. After their divorce in 2011, he married Canadian entrepreneur Rosemary Leith in 2014. They met through a local theater group in Geneva and bonded over their shared passion for ethics, digital rights, and creativity. Friends and colleagues describe him as thoughtful, calm, and principled, a quiet visionary who avoids the spotlight but never shies away from telling the truth. He's a mix of introvert and extrovert, with a deep sense of responsibility toward the future of the web and the world. Without Tim Berners-Lee, there would be no modern internet as we know it. He didn't just invent a tool. He created a platform for human progress, learning, creativity, activism, commerce, and culture. He's been compared to Martin Luther King Jr. in the digital world, not because of loud speeches, but because of quiet, principled impact. His invention gave rise to trillion-dollar companies, yet he chose to remain a steward rather than a tycoon. Tim Berners-Lee may not have chased wealth, but his legacy is richer than any bank account. He remains the web's quiet guardian, a reminder that the most powerful technologies must always serve people, not profit. If you enjoyed this story of vision, sacrifice, and legacy, subscribe to Legends Tales for more untold stories of the world's greatest minds.